Welcome back, world. It's your boy.
Javari.
We are back on the You Know What It Is podcast, man. Today, I've got Randy with me, sitting on the couch. I've actually got another healer with me.
Me?
Miss Kelly is here from the Self-Healers. I'm going to let you go ahead, and I don't want to mess it up.
No worries.
Yeah, Empowered.
There we go.
Empowered Healers.
Get it right.
Empowered Self-Healers.
Yes. That is, I actually I had to like separate it. So I have that platform and then I have the Kesh platform. Well, it's just Kesh. So they're a little bit different, but they have overlap for sure.
So what is the whole vibe? What is going on?
Well, I know there's a lot
I'm
going
trying to
on.
just let me know what's going on.
The Empowered Self-Healers and then Cash.
Yeah,
exactly
where did all of this come from? Where did it start?
Purpose.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where did you come from, first of all?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I was implanted here from a spaceship. They just kind of flew down from
Got some interstellar stuff going on here.
I moved here a year ago from Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up in that area, and the universe whispered and called to me and said, "Come to Vegas." So here I am.
Made that move.
Yes.
So originally from Seattle, moved down to Vegas last year.
Yep.
How has the transition been from Seattle to the desert?
Yeah, they're different for sure.
Yeah.
A little bit shocking at first in a lot of ways. First of all, like my skin, it's like, what is happening?
Bruh, you go to all that moisture and then it's just dry.
I just bought a dry brushing kit. Have you heard of this? Okay, it's like a game changer.
Put this on.
Yeah, you just do like a light little dry brush on your whole body, always towards your heart. And then, oh my God, my skin, I'm like a little baby right now. Like, it is, like, highly recommend.
Pristine.
Yes.
Let's do it. What'd you say it was? A brush?
Dry brush.
Dry brush.
All right.
Yes.
So, to your heart.
Yes.
Everything to your heart.
Strokes to the heart.
Gotcha.
Yes. Very good. A lot of health benefits.
I used to live in Everett, Washington for like a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the Navy, and then they had moved us up there from from San Diego. But yeah, I definitely understand. Have you felt like you're happier?
Well, it's the sun, is what it is. So, in a way, yes. I'm getting the vitamin D that I deserve.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank God.
She need that.
Yeah. So, big transition, but I'm really happy to be here. And I got a dog almost as soon as I got here, actually. So, just the two of us, and
That's what's up.
yeah,
Look, all right.
yeah.
So,
Good boy.
what is your journey? How's your journey been since you've been in Vegas over the last year? I mean, I know COVID hit and everything like that, so I know that probably
Right.
halted a little bit of things. But other than that, how has the movement been?
Yeah, my personal journey has really skyrocketed since being here. The universe really guided me here, and I speculate that it's the like high elevation or something that has to do with it, but like my pineal gland is like,
Girl, it'll go off in
Listen,
this bitch, okay?
y'all can get to
All
talking.
right.
I don't know what the hell
Look.
her pineal gland.
Look.
Where's that at?
Third eye. Your
Right,
third eye
yes.
chakra right
Right.
here.
Yes.
All right? Yeah, that would be activated and sometimes
Yes.
overly stimulated.
oh,
A little.
very
Gets a
often.
little.
Really.
Wow.
Got like a party over here, little.
You watch Euphoria?
I've seen it. Yes, I haven't. There's a new season that's coming.
Yeah.
I watched the first
it
episode
did?
yesterday.
Okay.
That shit
Okay.
was.
I need to get put on.
You don't. watch
Okay. So I've watched some episodes and it reeled me in. It did. However, my mind be everywhere. So I just really need to take the time to sit down, watch the full season 1, because the way y'all be hype about it, I'm like, you know what? I might have to just get in
It's
here because I
really-
love Zendaya
yeah.
for one.
Yeah.
I love her. So
The
she
story.
just
The story overall
She's
is
radiant.
fire. The only thing I'm like,
Yes.
Zendaya. We just seen you in Spider-Man now.
And now we about to
Now
see
we about to see you go loose on these drugs.
Yeah.
She going loose on these drugs. I'm like, God damn, girl. But yeah, no, you haven't seen Spider-Man yet?
I haven't seen this one yet. No.
Are you a Marvel, like you into stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep up. I recently have been, there's a lot of subliminal messages in a lot of these movies.
I think in
also
every movie, in the TV
in
shows.
anime, yeah, it's all programming, and so there was a time period where I was fully like avoidant of TV, like didn't even watch it at all. And then now that I realize that, I'm like, I need to watch it because I need to know.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. That's probably. I'm glad that you brought that up because it's part of the reason why I say like shows like Euphoria or other things I sometimes don't tap into because it's just like I understand. Yes, like the storytelling could be great and you know the acting can be great and the creativity can be amazing. The production can be amazing, but then sometimes like that. You know, that compassionate, empathetic person in me is just like, this could also influence kids to continue to perpetuate these cycles that are unhealthy, that are toxic, that are, like they see it on screen and then they act it out in person.
Yeah.
So it's like we can't deny the effects that it has. Now, granted, it can also be a very, like, educational thing for us, but I definitely agree with you as far as, like, that's why even right now, like, it's hard for me sometimes to, like, watch TV. Like, I'll watch certain things just to, like, hey, get a gist, like, where are we at? Like, what's going on? What are people doing creatively? But then sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know.
It's knowing
a powerful
what
tool.
the programming is in it. So I'll watch specific shows to know that I'm going to be learning on that show about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So it'll be almost like studying.
Exactly. There is an intriguing part of it because you learn about humans and, like, humans just intrigue me. So, just learning why we do things, what motivates us, why people, do whatever it is that they do. I do like having that back seat and just kind of like observing and seeing what's going on, but then sometimes that can be a little bit tormenting at times.
Absolutely.
So it's like, you know what? Okay, let me just maybe hop into the mix just a little bit. Like, I know I can trust myself, and I think that's one of the biggest things is knowing that I can trust myself to not let certain things, affect me.
Right.
You talk about like the programming and whatnot. It's just like, I have to be strong in myself and know that I've learned enough lessons in life to know, like, bro, like, that doesn't even have to faze you. Yeah. Maybe at one point it did, but you don't need to, like, live in that space anymore because you're not there.
Exactly. It's like these little vortex pockets, and people just get sucked into them. And as soon as you can develop enough, like, grounding and presence within yourself, you can, like, actively see it and choose, like, no, I'm not going to let that suck me in.
You can be in it, but not of it.
Right.
Like, you could be in the eye of the storm, just kind of observing things without actually, being in a state of chaos.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
So y'all just, so what we're going to do is just avoid the negative energy.
No.
Not necessarily avoid, because
So
avoidance, that perpetuates another cycle that's also, like, toxic. Like, you can't act like you don't see something. You can't act like something's, like, not there.
Yeah.
That's just like your emotions. Like, if you suppress them enough, you're going to explode out at one point or another. So it's not about avoiding. It's just about understanding, like, hey, like, let's just say for me, like, growing up, I would go out and stuff like that. I realized as I got older, like, honestly, that's just, like, not my vibe like that anymore. Sometimes I did it because I felt like I needed to feel accepted or whatever it is. But that's not to say, like, I still don't go out. Like, I get to just use my discernment to figure out, okay, hey, if I'm going to this event, let's just make sure I'm around people I trust. Let me just make sure that I allow myself to be comfortable in that space so I don't get sucked in to say something that I did when I was younger.
Right.
So you do have to face those challenges and face, the things that you may not, like, want to see, like, and admit that they're there, but it doesn't mean you have to participate in the influence that it has.
Yeah, exactly.
So this whole episode, right, I'm here to learn. I'm sitting here with two people that are obviously, they have a lot more knowledge in this than I do. Spirituality, healing, anything that has to do with, what is it? Your inner you. You know what I mean? Anything like that?
Connecting with source, your
There we
authentic self.
Yep.
Oh, your authentic self.
Yes.
Lamont
Living
would
in
like
your
that.
truth. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Walking in your purpose.
Yes.
You know?
What do you feel like your purpose is?
Ooh, right to it.
So that is the purpose of my whole platforms and everything, is to help kind of steer me within that. My purpose ultimately is to connect and help with people who they, classify themselves as having, mental health issues and are, drowning in the system, like consistently hitting blocks, feeling consistently, unhappy, anxiety, depressed, things like that. And just being like someone who can kind of help guide them to a way to reprogram and, let them know that they don't have to live that way. Like, there's another life out there waiting for them to just step into it. So that's my purpose.
Yes.
And that's what these platforms are there for. And there's really so much to it. So I initially started with just the Empowered Self-Healers, and I was getting personally overwhelmed. I was packing way too much in there. And I'm a very complex being, and I participate in a lot of activities and things, and so I really wanted to find a way to channel, the creative aspect, pottery, art, things like that, and then, have it kind of differentiate a little bit between the energy healing and doing the hard inner work.
Yeah.
Not everybody's ready for that. Like,
well, and especially if you're an empathetic person, like you're saying, you can easily get overwhelmed because in trying to be of service, sometimes you allow so much energy into your space, it gets overwhelming because, like, I feel other people. Like, I can walk into a room and feel the energy of the entire space.
Yes.
I can walk by somebody and feel their energy. So it gets tiring because you're constantly having to protect your energy while also trying to be open and receptive to, like, help folks. So you definitely have to figure out a healthy boundary for you, depending on, like, what your energy is like, depending on, how your energy just best moves in the world. That's part of the reason why I've thought about being, like a counselor or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know if I could take all that on.
Yeah.
Like, that would just be a lot. And that's what I love about having, like, my poetry, because in a similar sense, it's like, I've healed and done the shadow work enough to detach from some of my, like, darker pieces to know, like, hey, this is, like, where I've been, but it's got me to, like, where I'm at now. And to be able to share my story and let people know, like, hey, you can be in these kind of dark spaces and embrace, like, the past without allowing it to, like, overwhelm you and drain you and live in that space or identify with that pain. It's like, no, that's where I was. And look at me right now. Like, you can go on that journey too. You don't have to stay in that space. You can choose right now, today, to walk into something that's better because you deserve it. But it's all about understanding your self-worth. Like, you're valuable. You have purpose. People love you. People care about you. So.
And a lot of times, a lot of these statements that you're making, there's a lot more to it. And sometimes people will hear them and they'll take them just at that blanket
Surface
value.
level,
And that's all they'll hear.
Yeah.
And then they'll get defensive and they'll be like, well, for my situation, I don't have a choice. And, and they'll go into this whole, and it's like, that's really not what we're saying. And so that was, because there's so much depth to all these things, that was why I wanted to really distinguish.
Yeah.
So the Kesh platform with my pottery and other art forms, that is a space for people who are kind of just making contact. And it's really focusing on kind of opening them up to having awareness, because that's really where it starts.
Awareness is key.
Yeah, self-awareness, awareness of other people, and how you're impacting other people in the world and how other people are impacting, there's all these things going on. And so intentional living practices and mindfulness really strengthens your relationship with your true authentic self and with other, other people in relation to you.
So with the pottery and stuff, So this is just.
I keep your little.
It's not a
emblem in my bag at all times, and I even traveled with it. I was like, this is like my charm. This is like my lucky charm. Y'all gotta check out, her work. It's amazing. Okay, yeah, it's really amazing, and it really does what she seeks to do. It really empowers you. Really makes you feel safe. And I thank you for gifting me with a little I am, because I'm all about affirmations and claiming what you want and then taking action, and and that what you looking at with this pottery.
I'm trying.
Thank you.
To eat me, suck me, masturbate.
Why did you go straight there, Mario? Of all the words he said, hey, what was this one about?
That was the first
There's
picture
no
that.
suck me. It says
what is this?
G-spot.
G-spot. G-spot.
Wait, how did you get suck me a G-spot?
I got glasses on. I saw an S, so I just assumed.
All right, Vari. All right. Right. Look.
Well, so talk a little bit about that. What's going on with that? Are those ashtrays or are those?
So they can be.
What kind of products do you have?
I've pretty much sold out of my first line that I launched, which was Rise of the Matriarchy. I have literally 3 dishes from that left. That was like a picnic style inspired line, and each of those have their own name and inspirational thing with it. That I.
Let me get that masturbating one.
I know. I'm watching you squirm over there. Like, it's like, tell me about that. I want to hear about it. Okay.
Give me the deets on that.
What's going on?
He said it got deep. All right, it gets deep.
So a lot of it, like, there's just so many different things, and it all roots back to intentional living. And so that focus of those pieces were specifically for women empowerment. A lot of women are so disconnected from their bodies. They don't have habitual personal masturbation practices. They don't really touch their body. Like, just I'd let you know I got that bride brushing kit, and that's just a really intimate experience. You're connecting with your flesh. I mean, I hope so.
I mean, how you gotta brush it on your leggings and your jacket? Like,
through the clothes.
You put lotion on your clothes?
Oh, lotion goes on this?
So you dry brush. You
It's
get in the
dry brush.
shower.
I know. I'm just saying, like, would you put? It's just like you putting lotion on your clothes. Would you do that? No.
Yeah, it's
same thing.
it's
You're trying to stimulate
Skincare.
your.
Got you. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
yes.
It's like exfoliation in a sense, but it's not. You're not necessarily.
It is, yeah, exactly. So the dry skin will come off, and it's just really great. There's so many different benefits to it. It helps with your fascia and everything, and connecting with your blood flow. And also when you're doing it, you're focused. And anytime you're kind of focused like that, your brain is silent. That's a form of meditation. It's an active meditation. And I think a lot of people don't really understand that meditation can be active, and it can actually be done anywhere at any time.
Yeah, you don't have to literally just be sitting there with your eyes closed like this. Like, it can be a walk. It can even be like some of like your monotonous work, like, you organizing something. Like, meditation can be anything. Like, it's just a space for you to kind of fall into where it's like kind of mindless. You're not necessarily putting too much thought into it, but there is a focus. And I like that you touched on just, women not really getting intimate with themselves or like learning about themselves, because I think a lot of the times like society will kind of tell us to be like ashamed of our body, to cover up. And so then we kind of miss out on that explorative process of like what it is we have. And so I really encourage anyone to like get to know your body. Something as simple as just like putting lotion on every day is like a form of being intimate with yourself. Like getting your like massages and whatnot. Like you can even do that like yourself, stretching, whatever it is. Like even just taking a shower. That's, not only a way for good hygiene, but it's a form of self-care too. Like be intentional in there. Like a lot of times what I'll think of is as the water's hitting me, like I'm washing away any negative energy. Anything that I've picked up from the day, like I literally picture it just kind of dripping down my body as I'm, using my soap and everything like that, then like I'm inviting like new energy in, uplifting energy. Shout out to Sucking Lemon soap. Okay, that's my girl, Krista.
Wow.
I use her soap. All natural products. She does an amazing job. Very few ingredients. Check her out on Instagram, Sucking Lemons.
I'm
But
gonna check her out.
she has the soap smells so good.
I need
And that's
it.
a form of like my self-care and being intimate with myself, because I love scents. I love aromatherapy. And so it's really just like the little things, like what do you like what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel wholesome, what makes you feel good about yourself.
Yes.
You know, to where you could start off your day and just
Yes.
you know, be more in alignment. And I don't know, get more intimate with yourself, learn yourself, because it
Yeah.
helps you learn other people too.
Exactly.
You know, and to be more thoughtful about, you know, caring for each other. So
Yeah, there's just so much programming out there that teaches us, you know, women and men, all people, to just literally hate ourselves.
right.
You know, I'm not sure if my mic is cutting in or out.
You-
Can you?
Bring it closer to you. Yeah, you're just a little too far away from it.
Is that better? Okay. Oh, that's better.
Yeah, just when you were leaning back, it was going away.
Okay. So yeah, I really want to develop a full-blown program that is actually just like an online course that people can take at their own pace.
Yeah.
I mean, I also work with people one-on-one, but I think really for the greatest reach is allowing it to be a self-paced course.
Yeah.
And so I'm, you know, my notes from the years and everything I'm experiencing now, like that's really the goal, is to have a course that teaches people the baby steps to deprogramming and reprogramming. And
We'll have to do some work together.
yes.
For sure. We're going to have to do some collaborations. So y'all be on the lookout, okay?
Stay tuned for that one.
Because I'm resonating with all this. I met her at our one of our first Friday events, and she just has amazing energy. You can really tell that she, you know, is living in her purpose and doing exactly what she says she wants to set out to do. And so I just thank you for providing your energy, you know, in this space, on this podcast, and just in the world. And I'm grateful that, you know, Spirit moved you here, because in a space like this, Sin City, that energy's needed to balance things out. So,
That's why I'm here.
okay. All right, look, that's why I haven't moved
Like, I
yet.
need to go. Yeah.
Okay.
So with your whole movement and stuff, obviously the body is something that, you know, you want to definitely highlight, show that, you know, women should not be ashamed of these things like that. You're not a nudist, are you?
And if she was,
No, and if she was, it wouldn't matter. I'm just asking. Just
You
want to
know,
know.
in my true authentic element, I think we're all nudists.
I think so,
Really?
too.
Yeah.
Because these
I
clothes,
know,
if
I
real life,
like,
if clothes weren't a thing, I'd be all right.
look,
yeah, I
I'm
think
cool.
that's really, and there's so
Yeah.
much societal shame around that. And because of that, when there is designated spaces to, you know, go, you know, anywhere, I've been to nudist areas, and typically, like, they can be filled with authentic people, but it'll also attract, like, the creeps. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's just like,
That's, I mean, that's an obvious.
Yeah.
You know, anytime there's something good in the world, there's always somebody trying to fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's always the two sides of the coin, you know,
Yeah.
just, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, but yes.
Oh, okay, cool. I need to figure out how to get into that, man. I've been talking to my wife. I'm like, yo, I mean, this life would be a lot more simpler if we just was butt naked all the time.
You know, sleeping naked is also actually really good,
so
for your
good.
body to just rejuvenate, to breathe,
Breathe.
especially your
Yep.
Your
parts.
genitals.
Yes.
Like, it really helps to rejuvenate that space,
That's a
because,
fact.
like, when you have such, especially with women, or even men too, such tight clothing and whatnot, it blocks up that energy. That's how, like, you know, just sweat and the bacteria, all that stuff can just manifest itself.
Let it
But
breathe, ladies.
look, let it breathe. All right. Let
Needs
it
to
breathe.
breathe.
All right. Take that bra off. Let your titties
Yeah.
out. All right.
Yeah.
Like, breathe. You know,
Yes.
that's also another form of getting intimate with yourself and not feeling shameful about it. You know, like, I think that's one of, like, maybe the easiest ways to just embrace your body is to just, you know, sleep naked. It's comfortable too. I hate, like, waking up and like shorts is like over here,
adjusting,
bra is like over here,
titties all
shirt up. It's just it's not the wave. It's not the wave
at all.
Yeah, it really it's very healthy for you. So any time you're doing something that is like good for you, feels good, you enjoy, just like being present with it and just like allowing your whole system to like really soak in that moment. It really strengthens your relationship with connecting to things that are good and make you feel good because we're here to also be joyful and experience joy.
Right.
A lot of people, forget that. I forget it all the time. And I'm like, Kelly, joy.
Like, you're worthy of happiness. You're worthy of pleasure. You're worthy of, feeling good. Like, life doesn't always have to necessarily be difficult or sacrifice or, worrying about other people more than you do yourself. Like, part of that journey is giving to you and feeling good and comfortable and happy, There's a time to step out and be uncomfortable, but then there's also a time to, like, hey, like, I'm in this space, I'm chilling, I'm giving to me. Because then it helps you give to others in a better sense. When you're taking care of you, you can best bring your energy and your purpose to the world, so.
I just feel like the powers that be set us up like this to where we're not feeling, to where we can't even feel. All we are worried about is work. We're only worried about, surviving, and survival now is being at work all day. They say there's 24 hours in a day, but is there really?
Right, when you're working in transportation to just get to work, and then the construct on even just, with both parents working out of the house with the, kids have to go to daycare, it's a lot.
How much time do you actually have for yourself?
It's a lot.
Wow. Okay.
It's bright in here, y'all. It's bright.
I'll try it.
But I'm hopeful. There are a handful of movements and people, individuals, groups, teams who are really leading the way in empowering people, inspiring them, in telling you to take your rest, sit down, shut your mind. And that's why meditation is important too, because sometimes in order to shut off your mind, you need to kind of do something monotonous. Like, that's why that self-care directly relates to being able to meditate and have a clear mind. Or so you can recognize the thoughts that pop up all throughout the day. Like, in the shower, you could sit there and be like, dang, I have some pretty invasive thoughts. Like, I need to relax. Like, and that comes with the self-awareness. Like, once you're aware of, your mind, your body, your spirit, then you can really start to maneuver your life in a way that, now, okay, well, what do I like? What do I want to manifest? What do I want everything to look like? Yeah. And then you take action towards it, rather than just kind of saying, well, this is just how I am. This is just how things go. Like, no. Once you have that self-awareness, like, you got to take action. Because that will eat you alive, to have the awareness and do nothing about it.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. I'm super grateful for just being in this space. Even this weekend, I was out of town, and just thinking about like how far like I've come, and just seeing the influences that I've had in other people's lives, recognizing the influence they've had in mine, and I don't know. I had a moment. I was really like in the shower, just like crying, like thinking like even this weekend, like I'm gonna be performing in San Diego with my poetry, and I just really feel like I'm living in my purpose and in alignment.
You're gonna be in San Diego?
Yes.
I might be there.
Oh, okay.
I might need to come see you.
You're gonna have to come through. Okay. Yes. You're gonna have to. Okay, I'll hook you up with the dates. But it's gonna be in San Diego on the 15th on Saturday. All right, guys, at the Soda Bar in San Diego. So if you can come through, travel, check it out. If you're already in San Diego, come check it out. You know what it is. It's going to be there. It's really going to be an amazing event. And it's almost sold out, too. It could sell out. So make sure you guys go get your tickets, okay? Go on hiphopandpoetry.com and go scroll down and see San Diego tickets. And go ahead and do that. So
I'm coming.
Yes.
I'll be there.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Now I know.
Look, alignment. All right,
Yes.
y'all.
Hey, that's how that
Yes.
shit work.
This is literally how it works, man.
Yes, it is.
This networking thing is ridiculous. Have you been, like, what does that look like for you right now? Obviously, you sitting here with us. You went to the First Friday event. How has the networking been out here? Do you feel like the people are hospitable?
Well, I gotta say, I was true hermit cocoon mode, like hardcore, until like June, probably. Okay.
Just trying to feel out
And,
the space.
I moved I finally found, a place where I wanted to live. I moved in there in March and everything. So it just kind of took me a while to get settled and, get my bearings and, a lot of inner growth happening at the same time. And so I'm just like, since being here with the energy, I'm just like literally skyrocket transcending. Like, I'm a different person than when I walked in that door today. Like, that's how fast things are moving for me.
No, yeah, like when you're in that alignment and you are vulnerable enough to receive guidance, you could really just take leaps and bounds, and it feels like manifestation just happens right before your eyes.
Yes.
You'll say something and something will happen. And it's literally all just with the podcast, with you, with even myself, like, but you gotta do the work first, though.
Yeah.
You gotta do the work first.
There's been a lot of
Real work.
manifestation. There's been a lot of that going on around here. And, I'm just appreciative to have, these people around that are actually willing to do the work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That are actually willing to put their time in, because at the same time, just I was saying earlier about the time in a day, I can't be at work. This is work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My passion is my work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In the same way that I'm pretty sure yours is yours and yours is yours. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna keep going on this journey. I'm listening to y'all talk. This shit is like really.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes, good.
It's nice.
And just
like
a little tidbit too,
We gotta do more of these.
if you're not in a space
That's me.
to take action, it's okay. The journey isn't about just putting yourself out there all the time. Sometimes in order to get to where you want to be, to take the action that will, bring you to your vision, you have to go in cocoon mode. You have to go into isolation. You have to talk to yourself. You have to get real with yourself and be truthful with yourself.
Yeah.
Recognize where your strengths and where your weaknesses are. And then once you've had that rest, that recuperation, and you're implementing that self-care, then you can take like that next step, but it's not a quick process, and everybody's process doesn't look the same, because we all grew up in a different environment. We all have different influences around us. So go at your pace. Don't try to compare your journey to someone else's, but just understand there's a time to be out in the world, but then there's also a time to like be within yourself. Yes. And that's not wasted time. It's not, trust me.
Speaking.
It's not wasted time. Take the time for you. And then when you step out, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I can do this. I have the energy. I have the passion. I have the grit. I have the support. So that was my little tidbit.
Absolutely.
What a snack.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Love it.
I want you to let the people know where they can find you, find anything related to you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Please.
absolutely.
Are you thinking about... I'm going to talk to you offline.
Is that turquoise?
Yes.
On the same
saw
hand,
it.
the same
I know.
finger. I was eyeing it. I'm like, okay, soul sisters over here. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, let us know where to find you, girl.
So you can find me primarily on Instagram. So I have two, right, because I'm trying to distinguish. So if you're really wanting a foundational, kind of a baby step approach, you're not really to do like the deep inner work, but, you kind of want to get things moving around you. That's going to be really Kesh focused. And the Instagram for that, it's a little bit awkward. It's k.esh_shop. I wanted it to just be Kesh, but that was taken, so.
Of course. It's all right. It's unique, though.
I was like, who is it? So, I'm just kidding.
All right, so it's k.esh_shop.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
It'll pop up on the screen.
Yeah, we'll plug it all in.
Yeah, you'll be good.
The other one, I'm most active on there, and that is really things that are going to get your mind thinking. Oftentimes, I hope people are triggered when they come to my page. That is
I need
truly
that
what I
Jones out,
post.
Hey.
So beware, and you're there because you have a growth mindset, which means you notice that you're upset, you're uncomfortable, whatever you're feeling, and you're willing to work through that to get to the goal of understanding. And I also really want to distinguish between, like, with everything going on, there's a lot of talk about focusing on the love and the light, and
it's not always love and light.
No, it's not. It is only through the darkness that the light is there.
Yep.
The light exists because of the darkness. So you can't be out here bypassing things, a lot of spiritual bypassing, a lot of emotional bypassing. You got to be ready to do the work. So my platforms are pretty niche, and they're definitely not for everybody. And, you just got to come and be ready to do the work.
Be ready. It don't have to be scary, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a scary experience.
Yeah. I don't mean to scare you, but I'm like, do it.
Hey, just be aware. It's just like, to get to where you want to be, there's going to be some things you might have to give up. There's going to be some energy that you might have to shut out. Some habits that you might have to kick, but it's okay though, because once you do that and get to that elevated space, you will be more than happy that you took the time to do the work.
Empowered self-healers.
Hey, there you go.
That's what it is.
There it is.
That's what it is.
One more question. Are you a grand rising type of?
I think the type of people that ask that question are the type of people that don't know what it means.
Yeah. Look, he said he was here to learn, so it's enlightening him.
So I will say grand rising, and it's the etymology. So maybe study the etymology of words and the difference between good morning and grand rising, the difference between words like yes and yeah. Basic things.
So should I use yeah?
Correct.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Understood.
Yes.
So, that's Kelly and Randy, man. I think what I'm going to start doing is sitting over there, and then I'm going to allow Randy to run these. You know what I mean? Because that was beautiful. Today's episode was very good. Brought to you by Randy. Where we at?
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. We're so
happy to be
grateful
here.
for all that. I'm loving the energy and the vibe. So I just
Yes.
encourage you to continue to keep going, to share your light, your influence. You are a much needed Earth warrior here. So thank you for joining us. Thank
Thanks
you
so
for
much.
doing the work that you do. You're really empowering, you're motivating, and you're inspiring so many people that you know and you don't.